So before we get started, just a couple of commercials. Here we go. Not really commercials, just some plugs here. Some more SoCal Malifaux news while I show you guys this crew. Now, you've seen me paint a McMorning crew before. This is actually a different crew than that one. You can see they're kind of in this matching sort of surgical blue here. This will be used as prize support. Now, we haven't decided what or where this is going to be prize support for, but it will be prize support at one of our events. So let's talk about that upcoming events. Well, tomorrow, a big day for SoCal Malifaux. We've got actually a tournament going on, which is a one-day achievement league. It's not a true tournament, more of like a newbie style tournament. You might have seen some footage from our event over at Brookhurst Hobbies in Garden Grove. But tomorrow we're going to be at the Mon Store. Now that's in Montclair, and that will be tomorrow starting at noon. That's a 3-round event, ideal for newbies, ideal for folks who are just looking to get in some more friendly games of Malifaux, and you get in lots of games, and hopefully you learn something about the game. So very good event. Matt Gomez is going to be our lead for that one, so be sure and check us out there tomorrow. If not, if you're further north, you may want to check out our buddy the Nance. The king of the Nance up there in Bakersfield. He's going to be running a 25 Soulstone tournament at Paladin Games in Bakersfield. So if you're up north, up in Bakersfield, check out the Nance and check out his group up there. If not, if you're further south, you may want to check us out in the Montclair area. So what else do we have going on? Well, the next weekend actually will be at the Gaslight Gathering. Now this is down in San Diego, so we're now from LA to Bakersfield to all the way south, now down back in San Diego. This is a different kind of convention. This is actually a steampunk Victorian style convention, so a little bit out of the box, kind of like WonderCon was. But we'll be there running demos. We don't have any formal events. This is going to be a much smaller affair. Really just a few of us are going to be down there from SoCal Malifaux, but we'll be doing open gaming and events, open gaming and demos actually that entire weekend, May 11th and 12th. We may be there for the 13th, but I'm not entirely sure. So we've got that going on in the middle of the month, and then at the end of the month we've got GameX. That's at Memorial Day weekend. Now this is going to be up in the LA area at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel from May 25th through the 27th. We'll be there. So we're not going to be there Monday, but we'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There will be a few different events, including scenario encounters. One-day achievement league will be there, and we'll have a standard, I believe it's a 30 or 35 Soulstone tournament at GameX up there in Los Angeles. So, lots going on with the club. Really appreciate your support as always, guys. And let's get to Ramblin About Ramos. Last time on Ramblin About Ramos, we talked about steampunk arachnids and steampunk arachnid swarms. One of Ramos' most versatile and most often used minions. This time we're actually going to talk about Ramos's, not really Ramos's henchman, but the Arcanist henchman, or the only henchman available to be played as an Arcanist, and that is Kaeris. And decided to talk about Kaeris specifically in this series because of a lot of the synergy that she has with the Ramos crew. And to be honest, I could do a mini series on just Kaeris and how to run her as the leader of your crew, but I really felt it fitting here with Ramblin About Ramos to talk a little bit about Kaeris, what she does, and how she can help benefit your crew. Now, like I said, Kaeris is a henchman, and so you can take her to lead the crew, and that would limit you to MNSU assets, so you could use things like gunsmiths or firegammon, or I believe the couple of the constructs like the Soulstone Miner. But really, in a Ramos crew, Kaeris has a really good spot and a really good fit in that crew. And that has a lot to do with how Kaeris works. Now, put simply, Kaeris is sort of a she's sort of a shooty type of casty leader, or henchman, I should say. She relies on burning tokens as her core mechanic, and so when you're running Kaeris, you know, the main idea is to spread out some burning tokens, and then use those burning tokens to inflict more damage on your opponent. So Kaeris, stat-wise, she's, you know, fairly impressive. She's got decent stats all around. She's got the cast 6 and the combat 6 on her ignite, and the damage arc doesn't look particularly good on that. But what's so interesting is that CB6 book, and we're going to talk about that for a second, because what that allows her to do is it actually allows her to auto trigger the turn it up trigger. And so with the turn it up trigger, what that means is Kaeris gets to fire one shot at CB6 book. She can auto declare the trigger and then hit another target, this time at a -1 CB book. So the next shot, her CB goes down to a 5 book, and so the only way you can get a third shot is if you play a tome on that second shot. Now, you may or may not want to do that. That actually forces you into some resource management, but like I said, with Ramos, this becomes a lot easier. And the thing about Kaeris is she tends to be pretty resource intensive. She loves books, and she loves soulstones, so that makes her a good fit with some of the Arcanist Masters, not a great fit with other ones. She might be fighting, say, Rasputina for soulstones, for example. She might be fighting certain crews, certain Marcus builds for books. So even though you can run her with those masters and do completely fine, I really find that, you know, probably the best fit for her run as a henchman within a master-led crew would be with Ramos, and a lot of that has to do with our buddy the Mobile Toolkit. Like I said, Kaeris loves books, and the Mobile Toolkit, what it does is it gives out books. So Kaeris loves the Mobile Toolkit loves Kaeris, but in addition to that, taking Kaeris with a master allows for another really cool combo. So at the top of the series, we talked about totems, and at one point the Student of Conflict totem came up, and I believe I hinted at the fact that the Student of Conflict is actually not a bad choice for somebody like Kaeris. Maybe not so much for Ramos, even though, you know, there are some builds that would work with a Student of Conflict attached to Ramos. But in this case, when you take Kaeris with a master like Ramos, you can attach a different totem to her, where you normally could not if she were leading the crew. So in this case, we're talking about attaching the Student of Conflict. Now, the main reason why people take the Student of Conflict is for its all-assist action, which gives its attached master the +1 fast action. And this is great for things like the Victorias, who can benefit from fast. But this is a very powerful combo to run in particular with Kaeris, because what that does is it gives Kaeris a total of 4 AP that she can use during her activation. So this makes it very powerful, especially when you pair it with the Mobile Toolkit. So let's say if we had a base of operations that had the Mobile Toolkit and the student within 3 inches of Kaeris, the Mobile Toolkit could give Kaeris the book, and then later on in the turn, Kaeris and the student could either companion activate, or you might have the student activate first, do its all-assist action, and give Kaeris the +1 AP. What that does is now Kaeris has that 4 AP, and what she can do with 4 AP and free books is pretty incredible. So for example, let's say Kaeris and the Student of Conflict are behind some cover, I don't have any cover here. We'll just use this paint pot. So let's say they're behind some cover. The student goes ahead and gives Kaeris a +1 AP, and now it's Kaeris' activation. She can pop out or use her flight to clear the cover. That's 1 AP. Then she can attack a creature with her ignite weapon and get at least 2 shots off. So that's good. If there are 2 creatures within range, she can hit 2 different opponents. Hopefully dole out some burning tokens. And then she has her casting expert and the fast AP. So then she can use her casting expert to do things like accelerant, which requires a book. Or she can cast some of her other spells, most of which require books and do much better damage and don't even need line of sight. In the case of accelerant, the power behind that is it's a 10-inch pulse that does not have a defense for it. So really, the focus is getting that burning token onto the target, and that's where you might want to use something like a soul stone. And then once the burning token is assigned and you already have your books, you play your 6th book. You play the bare minimum to get your spell off, and then you're doing your auto 1, 2, 4 damage. So what I'm saying is she can pop out from cover, she can hand out 2 burning tokens, she can then proceed to spread out some damage with those targets, and then with her last fast AP she can pop right back into cover. And that's a very powerful thing that she can do. She can take advantage of both her range and her flight and her casting expert with that particular combo. Now that's a pretty expensive combo, considering you're going to run 8 for Kaeris, you're going to run 4 for the Student of Conflict, and you're going to run 3 for the mobile toolkit. So I'm talking 15 soul stones right there, but that's a very powerful 15 soul stones. And what that does is that gives Ramos a base of operations, and then you actually have this sort of this fairly powerful ranged attack from Kaeris. In addition, you can do things like Flame Wall. Kaeris also has some card manipulation skills. She can take a wound to give herself another control card. She can also spread wounds out amongst the assets and MNSU members to heal herself back up. And so this makes Kaeris a very powerful minion within the Ramos crew. Actually, she's the henchman within the Ramos crew. So I wanted to bring that up, that Kaeris can actually provide a lot of things for a Ramos crew. Whereas in other crews, she might be fighting for tomes in your control hand, or she might be fighting for soul stones. So she does have a very particular synergy with Ramos. Another thing that Kaeris does very well with Ramos is one of the things that I really like to do with Kaeris in a construct-led army is I like using Kaeris' action when I'm about to lose a construct, or I know I'm going to lose a construct and it's going to die anyway. Well, you can use a 1 action with Kaeris to actually just destroy that construct and hand out a bunch of burning tokens. And that's a really cool thing to do, because you could use that as a 1 action and then use your other AP to cast your immolate and other things with Kaeris. So she does have a particular synergy with that, with the Ramos crew, and she can take advantage of the fact that you're going to be losing some constructs from time to time. She can even do that with really cheap constructs like steampunk arachnids. One of my favorite things to do with the steampunk arachnid is you run up a single arachnid. A lot of times that's ignored. Latch onto something, maybe tag it a couple of times, and then by the time the opponent is thoroughly irritated with that arachnid and is about to kill it, well, you actually have Kaeris come along, you have her kill it, and now she's spreading a bunch of burning tokens, and then she can work her magic on that target as well. So Kaeris is a great addition to the Ramos crew. She's not an always take. She's definitely somebody that you're going to consider a lot of the times, though, because Ramos's strategies are often built around killing things or destroying key targets. Kaeris can be very good for those types of strategies. So anyway, that's Kaeris in a very quick, short nutshell. And that's this episode of Ramblin About Ramos. I think we're actually going to wrap up with this particular episode. If there are further topics, please go ahead and post a comment. I would be more than happy to try to cover something in detail. However, I really think the beauty of Ramos is in the variety of constructs that he can take and the variety of configurations that you can run them with. So really it's going to be up to you to learn some of the combos, some of the good crew builds for specific strategies and schemes and so forth. And I just wanted to throw a couple of mainstays out there, like the mobile toolkit, like the Steampunk Arachnid, and like Kaeris here. So that's it for this episode. I think we are going to wrap up the series. I don't know what's going to be next. We do have a couple of our other Arcanist Masters that we can be talking about. I don't know. It might be ranting about Rasputina, or it might be mumbling about Marcus. I don't know. Open to suggestions there. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one, and thanks for watching.